Okay. All right, so incidents. This is just one part of your job, to watch over the residence halls and make sure that the students are following the rules. These policies and procedures are set, so it's basically, it's not to get people in trouble. We're trying to keep as many people in the residence halls happy as we possibly can. I know, like, camp we had almost 300 kids last year, so it's kind of difficult, but we do what we can to try to make everybody happy and undisturbed in their homes. Definitely one person or a group can easily affect an entire hall, and so it's your job to just make sure that you keep that under control, and if they are a problem, a consistent problem, you can always go talk to your RD and let them know what's going on, and we can step in if we need to. It is your job to know what the policies are for the college and for the residence halls, and if you aren't sure, ask a fellow RE or RD. We'll be happy to help you. A lot of those you can find in your RE manual if you have a question, and that's in the RE on duty binder, and you can also find it on the groups page. A lot of what you'll be dealing with is quiet hours and the noise policy, especially at Kent Hall. That's what we dealt with a lot last year, was quiet hours and noise and stuff. And the actual quiet hours are from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, and midnight to 8 a.m. Friday and Saturday nights. But common courtesy should be used 24 hours a day. Excessive noise is not permitted at any time, and this policy recognizes that the residence hall community consists of many diverse people with varying schedules. So you might have somebody that works at night that's trying to sleep during the day, so you want to be respectful of that person, and if anyone gets too loud during the day, they can be written up. I know we had a couple of students that like to blast their music at like 2 in the afternoon, but you can seriously hear it on every single floor. And not everybody's into that music and they don't want to hear it, so you just need to be aware and talk to them if you need to. Procedures for responding to the violations: handle the initial noise violation in an informal, friendly manner. Always approach the resident in a non-threatening way. You don't want to go in there with the guns blazing, ready to yell at them over a noise violation. Just go in there, hey, can you be quiet? Most of the time, they don't even know they're being loud. I know I got talked to by my RE a couple of times because we had our TV too loud or something. We just didn't even realize that it was that loud. So most people will be very respectful, and if you're respectful to them, they'll be that way back to you. You can always suggest if they go to the lobby, say the red room, the basements. We have a lot of different spaces they can go hang out in Kent. It's a very active community there, and they like to hang out in the hallways, but it's loud no matter how quiet you try to be. So try to push them into those areas so they can still have fun and hang out and get to know each other, but it's not disturbing the entire hall. If the resident doesn't comply and continues to be a problem, write up a violation report and incident report and give them to your AD, your AC, and inform the students that they must report to us within 24 hours, and then we handle it from there. So a noise violation, usually in our community service, we have people that got written up 5, 6, 7 times all last year, so then it gets a little bit more just trying to help the situation. And at that point, if it becomes that big of a problem, I would usually sit down and talk to your RD, because it's obviously a large problem with them. Ways to prevent the noise violations: meet with your residents early in the semester to talk about it. If they're a continual problem, it's best to sit down and try to handle it before it gets out of control. There's somebody out there. Reinforce the quiet hours. I think everybody's got the signs to put on your door, so make sure you have those up so they know what the quiet hours are. And just be present on your floor, be active on your floor. It makes life a lot easier for you if you know your residents. And it makes it a lot easier to go into a situation. If you have a good rapport with them, usually if you tell them to be quiet, and they'll just, comply at that point. Be aware of probable times when noise may become a problem.
Yep.
And just be aware that every floor will have residents who will be uncomfortable telling you that noise is a problem. You'll have residents also that will tell you every time they hear anything. And then you have the residents that may not tell you, so you may not know it's a problem, but if you're there and you can hear them all the way down your floor, you probably need to say something. We did have floors last year that were collectively just a little bit louder, and that was okay. As long as nobody was getting upset about it, it was fine.
That was
And I think Kent collectively as a group is a little bit louder, so yeah. Just remember though, if you have residents that are continually running up and down the halls, you can hear them on third floor, you can hear them on first floor. So you just need to be aware, and as long as nobody's getting upset, then we're usually okay. Any questions on quiet hours? The second biggest thing you probably would deal with, if at all, is the alcohol procedure. Obviously the possession and consumption of alcoholic beverages is illegal on any parts of the campus, even the parking lots. We, however, don't deal with the parking lots. If you see something, you can call me and I'll have security handle it, but don't go out to the parking lot and try to write somebody up. I don't think anybody would do that, but just so you know. And any person, whether resident or non-resident, who is found in possession of alcohol will be written up. Now, if they are a non-resident, there's special circumstances there, so contact your RD and we'll come up and handle that. If the student has empty alcohol bottles in the room, they do get written up for alcohol. So that's important to relay that to your residents, because we're not trying to get people in trouble, but so they need to know the rules. And a lot of times, they may have a bag of empty beer cans. We don't know when they drank it. They could have just drank it. That's not for us to decide, so that's why that policy is in place. And even if they're using them for decorations, it's just pretty black and white with that. So just make sure you relay that, and I believe that's on the first floor meeting that we do. Make sure there are 2 of you that go into it. We don't want anybody to get hurt. We don't want anybody to be uncomfortable. So call another RA, and I think everybody's more than willing to help each other. If you are a new RA, we have senior RAs and more experienced RAs that can come help you with the situation. And once you do a couple or have your first and comfortable doing that, then you don't necessarily have to call a more experienced RA, but definitely for your first one, make sure you call a senior RA or another RA that's experienced. If a communal bathroom is involved, call another RA of the sex, of that same sex, if you are the opposite sex. So Sean, you go into a female wing and you're having to do an alcohol write-up, call a female, because you will have to go. They'll have to go into the bathroom to dump out the alcohol, and you do not want to be the person that goes into the female bathroom. So that's why I tell you to do that. Your safety is our #1 priority, so just don't go into an unknown situation alone. You may be surprised what you walk into on a Monday night. You're thinking, oh, it's just noise. No, they're having a huge party in there. So just be aware of the surroundings and what's going on. And knock on the door. If you hear the residents scrambling around, they're usually pretty obvious about it. They're slamming drawers and closets and everything else. You can key in. Just say loudly, RA keying in. Make sure you do not leave the scene. Call another RA before knocking if you're not sure what the situation is going to be. And make sure you have all the other RA's numbers on your phone. And hopefully you have all of them on the RA and duty phones. If you are on duty, you have access to the other RAs if you need them. You can have them get their master key if you think they'll need it. If alcohol is in plain sight, ask them if they have any more. You can ask them to open the fridge, but don't search without an RD there. We don't want you guys, you never know what you can get into if you start searching, so don't do a search for anything. Most of the time I found they are cooperative and they will just give it to you. And whether you get 1 beer can, they're going to get the same punishment if you find a ton more. And I think if they're going to want to drink, they're going to go buy it again. So as long as you do your job like you're supposed to, it's fine. If the alcohol's not in plain sight and you're sure they have it, a lot of times you can smell it. They'll have shot glasses out, whatever. You can ask them to get it for you. If they refuse to, then you would contact your RD to do a search. And usually if you say you're going to do that and they have it, they're going to give give it to you because they don't want somebody going through their stuff. They have to dump the alcohol out in front of you and make sure that they are the ones doing it. You guys don't do anything with that besides making sure that they dump it out. And confiscate the empty alcohol bottles and put them wherever your RD is designated. Fill out your violation report, give them the what to do after a violation slip, and make sure they know they need to go to housing the next day. With alcohol, they don't necessarily have to come to us because the housing handles everything from there. Fill out the incident report, and that should be done within 2 hours of the incident. And I know with the alcohol procedure, SRBs don't want you guys up to the door listening. Oh, I think I heard them crack a beer. It's not like that, but if you do see it, you do need to do a violation report. The ones we're concerned about, if they're disturbing your hall or if they're a danger to themselves or to other people, then we get involved with it. But we're not out to get people in trouble, so you just don't have to listen at doors or do anything like that. Any questions on alcohol procedure? Illegal drugs or drug paraphernalia procedure. Obviously, consumption of drugs or drug paraphernalia is in violation. We don't want you guys going into those situations. You smell something, you see something, you call your RD immediately, and we'll come up and handle that situation from there. When you go into an incident, assess the situation, be very aware of the surroundings, pay attention to any little details, especially if you have to call the RD. So we're coming from a place, I know if I get called at 2 a.m., I might be a little groggy and not ask the right questions. So try to help us out, tell us anything that might be of importance. Determine if the student is in danger, the rules are being violated. Make sure you go in a calm, polite manner. But if you need to be stern, you gotta be stern. So it just depends on how they're interacting with you. Obviously, if you're dealing with drunk people, don't argue with them. You're gonna get absolutely nowhere. Just let them do their thing. If you ever feel in danger, I don't care about the violation report at that time, just get out of there. If someone starts being aggressive, call me, we'll come in and handle the situation. And usually we call CJ or somebody to come back us up as well. When it's over, don't hold a grudge. I know when I go to an incident at 3 a.m., am I happy at 8 a.m. the next day when I gotta get up? Probably not, but you can't, don't be mad at the resident, don't show them that you're ticked off, just go on like it didn't even happen. Remember that what happened here stays here, so don't go gossiping to your friends or fellow RAs. Confidentiality is a huge part of your job, so you're going to be dealing with a lot of sensitive information with different residents. When you do go into an incident, there's going to be things that you possibly may see that other people really shouldn't know about, and the only person you really can talk to about it is your RD. If you have questions on what happened or you feel like you need to talk to somebody about it, come talk to your supervisor. And if it needs to be brought up in a meeting, which does happen, then we will bring that up. I don't want you guys bringing anything up. It's just for protection of you guys, and we'll handle that from there. Okay, this is the violation report. You can find it on the group page, which is highlighted in red there. And then you can also find the RA manual there, the policies and student handbook. And actually the violation report, sorry, they are in the RA on duty binder. We try to keep that stocked so you guys have it when you're doing your rounds, and they're in your mail room. Make sure you guys get each student's ID if possible. You're going to find sometimes they're not that cooperative, but do what you can. The hall that the violation occurred, date and time, the date and the time that it occurred, and hey Tammy, can you grab me? Never mind, I got it right here. And that can come into play, especially if we have to look at the cameras or something. So make sure you're diligent about checking what time it occurs. And then when you do the campus address, make sure that you put the address that they live, not the address that it happened in. You'll fill that out in the incident report. get their phone number. There's times where I have to call them if they don't come see me the next 24 hours, so I need that information. Witnesses will be the RAs. I don't have my RAs put their phone numbers. I guess it's up to your RD, but you don't want people that are kicked off at you calling you on your personal cell phone. Definitely do not put that number on there. If you want to, you can put your room phone on, because they can go find that if they really want to. It hasn't been a problem in the past, but I just have mine leave it blank. Make sure you get the resident's signature. That shows that they are aware that they've been written up, and you will leave a copy with them, and then you'll put, there's 2 other copies you'll put underneath your RD's door, however they want you to do that. And make sure whoever's making the report signs it. The director will sign it the next day if they are not present at that time. Any questions on the violation report? And you guys will be doing one of these with mock rooms. Okay, so along with the violation report, you guys will fill out an incident report, and this occurs whenever you have a write-up or a violation. And then sometimes there'll be an incident that occurs that may not be a violation yet. It could be a report and see somebody got money stolen out of their room, or there's damage in your hall, something that we need to document, and you'll just see that in the incident report. Always email your incident to your RD or RC within 2 hours of the incident. And basically that's what it looks like up there. Make sure that you're professional on these. They are read by a lot of different people way above me. So be professional. We don't want opinions. We don't want to know that you were angry during the incident or anything like that. No emotion should be put on there. Don't exaggerate. We need a truthful detail of how it happened, who, what, when, where, why, and how. And go ahead and show you what it looks like when you pull it up. And you guys will do this during mock rooms as well. So a lot of times it's just one violation. It has a drop-down box, so you guys put whatever it is. So it's just noise or noise. A lot of times though with alcohol, noise is the primary violation, and then alcohol would be the secondary violation. If you had to call the police or the ambulance, you check those boxes. Again, date and time, very important. Students involved, these boxes will drop down, so if you just type and keep on returning, it'll stay in that section. But all the students involved, any of the RAs involved, and then you'll just fill out the details of the incident there. And then you don't do anything in the RD or RC comments or below that. Any questions on the incident reports? Okay, memos of conversation, another important thing that you guys will be filling out. If you have a discussion with a resident or resident's roommate that points to signs of trouble, shows any concerns, no matter how small, make sure you fill out one of these memos of conversation. Or it could be something, maybe you haven't spoken with them, but you've noticed behavior changes, withdrawal, that something's just wrong with them. You'll be surprised how many times you can tell that something is going on. And you guys are around the residents all the time, so it's very important that we have you guys out there with them to document these type of things. Anytime a discussion of significance occurs, and if you're not sure, ask your RD right away whether you need to do that piece of paperwork or not. Always email your memo of conversation to your RD or RC in a timely manner. And remember that you guys do have a duty to report, whether it's a friend, because you will get close to some of your residents as well. If you know something, you have to report it. And it's not to get them in trouble, just we need to know so that we can get them help if they need it. When you're filling out the conversation, same thing, be professional, detailed, accurate. It does go up to several different people above me. And if there is an immediate threat, contact us right away. If somebody says, I don't want to live anymore, makes some kind of outlandish comment like that, we need to know right away, because we want to get them help right away. We don't want to take any chances. Otherwise, if it's not an immediate threat, fill out the report. If you can, directly after conversation, or as close to it as you possibly can. And that's just mainly so you guys can remember details. And in the email, you can share opinions. That's where I want them, especially if you have like background or things before that you know about the student that's not pertinent to the memo conversation. Put that in the email. that looks like. So it's pretty simple. Make sure you put how it's initiated, anybody that was present. So if it's that person and they have two friends that are there, we need to know that information. Whatever staff was present, the date, time of discussion. They probably aren't going to know you're doing a memo conversation, so most of the time you're not going to get an ID number or the phone number unless you have it. And there's a signature box, but you don't need to have them sign it. Any questions on the memo conversation? Okay, last thing we'll just go over quickly is a judicial hearing. We will do a mock one so you guys kind of see how it goes. But basically, if a student gets written up for violating a policy and they want to appeal it, they'll come talk to me. I'll let you know what's going on. We'll set up a time. Unfortunately, they're usually like 7 a.m. in the morning, and we all get together. It's the RA that was involved, or RAs if there's more than one, the student or students, and then we try to get 2 or 3 judicial representatives from the residence halls. So when you have people sign up, that's what they do. It's for basically just for this purpose, is the judicial hearing. And the residence hall director, and then Tammy's usually there, another residence hall director will be there. And collectively, between the director and the judicial reps and the manager of residence life, we decide what goes on after that. So by the end of the hearing, we will notify the student if they're fully responsible, partially they're not fully responsible at all. Usually, typically, it has to do with alcohol. If a student is not in the room, they still do get written up if there's alcohol in the room. So a lot of times that's what it is. They weren't there, maybe they're out of town, whatever. They'll go to judicial hearing regarding that. And you as an RA basically will have the incident report there, and you go through the incident report and see what happened on your end. So I think that's it. Do you guys have any questions?